This is Season 6 of the Team Roping Journals podcast, The Score. With over 2 million downloads, this is where team ropers talk. Today's episode is brought to you by Professional's Choice and their 2X Cool Sports Medicine Boots. We're going to tell you more about this awesome new product at the commercial break. Hey everyone, this is Chelsea Schaefer. Welcome back to The Score. This is an episode that we wrap up all of the happenings at the Royal Crown Rope Horse Futurity. Man, it was a busy week, and to say that Trevor Brazile dominated the event might be an understatement, but otherwise, I mean, Andy Holcomb was amazing, Dakota Kirchenschlager, and then Vaughn, Warken, a Canadian. Those are all of our guests today on The Score, and we learned a lot about a lot of different folks, a lot of different horses, and it was something really to see. So if you've never been to one of the rope horse futurities, I know we kind of harp on them a lot. We talk about them a lot because, man, there's all kinds of new cool things happening, and it's very exciting to watch. And it's impressive, really, to watch these young horses perform. So first on The Score is Trevor Brazile. We will talk to him about the horse he won both the all ages and the 6 and under on. That horse's name is Step and Small Town. Came from Canada, and Trevor and Miles bought him. They're going to tell you about that, but they bought him in October of this past year, and he absolutely stood out. He was high call in the intermediate and limited with trust in Brazile too, but had some bad luck. But that horse really was impressive, and I think lots of people liked his TikToks and his reels on Facebook because he's a big brown horse that is just pretty dang impressive. So without further ado, here is Trevor Brazile talking about the horse they call Kobe. Has that horse been through a barrier before?
That's a good question. I really don't know, but we run everything through them at home, because we're always dealing with young horses, and so the wands are usually up, and that's just one of the things that we usually break them to. But it's just different when you go somewhere. We put it up and let them kind of go through it and desensitize them to it a little bit, for the first time for sure. So I feel like that horse has been around and been, maybe been exposed a little bit to that before today, at least at the house with the barrier wands that we use, and then we'll put some caution tape up or something to get them used to that. But I thought he didn't feel any different than he did at the house, and on young horses that's always the trick, and I think that's part of the seasoning process. Some of them are definitely easier to season than others, but I've only had that horse. I actually just had sold the horse, and I was really had mixed feelings about it because I really thought that horse would win a lot at these. He's just seems like he's mature beyond his years, and he feels like you're riding a rodeo horse in a futurity.
When you picked him out last year, what did you see in him, or like why? It's not like you don't usually buy a lot of 5-year-old coming 6-year-olds.
I wish I could answer that because I get asked that a lot. I would rather gamble on what I see rather than what I feel sometimes, because if I see certain, and it's just little intangible things, I either like them or I don't when I see them, and I wish I could put it into words. It's not like I'm keeping it top secret by no means. I don't even know how to explain it. I just like them or I don't.
And Vaughn had that horse for 2 years. What does Vaughn do with them that you like? I mean, obviously everybody liked the yellow that Vaughn did so well on at Fort Worth. What?
I think it's a combination of two things. I know Kyle Wilson was working with Vaughn, and I think between the two, both great hands, and it was a good rope horse program.
It was juicy today. Talk about the setup here.
It's different, and that's what's so good about this. It's not a cookie cutter experience everywhere you go. These are really fresh, light, Mexicans, and you definitely have to see tail by the end of the gates every time. Luckily, most of them don't make you gut a horse, but it makes you see if they can see us tail by. We'll go some that it's behind the shoulder, and so it's not like, say, one little cookie cutter scenario at everywhere we go at these things. That's what keeps these rope horse futurity horses well rounded for their next job.
Bloodlines obviously weren't a huge factor in buying that horse, but any insights into those bloodlines, or is he just?
I mean, he goes back to Wimpy, which our stud did. Those horses have shown me a lot of attributes that fit this discipline well, and so I'm not going to shy away from it for sure, or any variation of it.
Who helped Paul? How'd Paul helping come about?
Paul was just out here rodeoing and was here, and when you got a guy like that over there that says he's got plenty of help horses, it's pretty much discussion over. That's who you want back there. I mean, for obvious reasons. He did a great job all day.
Which steer of yours went left pretty hard? Your first one. What did that show that horse's ability to do, or was there any panic with you when that steer stepped?
There's always panic. I mean, for one, they're really small horn cattle, and when they come left as you're already kind of lined out and have everything the way you want it, and then they come left, not only your horse making the move, but keeping it on the horns and certain things. I went for the neck a lot today because I just can't wave it off a neck.
Yeah. Did you have two of 4 neck shots on that horse, or you got the neck in the short round?
3 of 4.
3 of 4 were?
No, 2 of 4.
2 of 4. That's what I thought. Anything that horse let you do handling-wise with the neck?
The neck, as long as your horse is soft in the corner, is probably a better handle. It's just that when that horse lets me kind of move him up, and when you have a neck, that's crucial. If your horse is a little strong right there, neck can be terrible, but I think especially on these fresher steers, a neck with a horse that lets you be soft in the corner is perfect.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, next up we have Andy Holcomb. He won the All Ages Healing on Fine Vintage Cash by One Fine Vintage. Here's Andy Holcomb. Okay, tell me about that horse. Where did that horse come from?
She came from Mary Robertson. They had her with Tucker Robinson. No relation. But to train for the cow horse, and they showed it in the Snaffle Bit Futurity in the, I was a 3-year-old, and I think maybe a couple derbies early 4-year-old year. And then
was she good? Ish?
Yeah,
okay.
Ish. Mm-hmm. She's a little stingy. And honestly, I never saw videos. She didn't, I don't think she won a lot at them. But was darn sure nice. But I don't think she had any luck at the Futurities, no. And then we bought her kind of early spring, I think her 4-year-old year, and went roping on her.
What did you like about her that you bought her?
The price was right, and she was just the way she used herself. She was real up and collected, and whether sometimes it was probably it kind of hurt me a little bit, but she stops real narrow and together and like kind of slid a long ways, but it made her stay real up and square with her front end. So like she's always been pretty easy to dally on, and not that they weren't roping her back then, but I could kind of feel it in her, and I kind of like that about her, and yeah, I think that was kind of the main thing. And it always just helps when they're broke. When you start with snaffle bitter like that they're just broke to death. So.
Were you the one that put her into a bridle, or was she already in a bridle when you got her?
No, I mean, they kind of rode her in small, kind of shank bits, but not like a bridle.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Talk about why was she successful today? Sorry, the words are hard. Yeah, what today? What was good about her in this setup?
I think she just, like the last 2 goes she just had really, really good cows, and Caleb stood them up and rolled them really good. Those are kind of tough set of steers, especially to start with. They were kind of wanting to handle pretty rough right there. The first hop or 2 out of the corner, and the second one, the first one we got by pretty good, and the second one kind of while they're around there pretty good and shuffled and sprawled out, and I kind of tracked a few hops and threw kind of a funky loop, but it caught, and so I think just her way just kind of overcome runs like that, instead of kind of getting short or being funny, she stayed with the run and let me get them healed. I think that's what kind of is a strong suit of hers. She lets me catch them. And so my catch percentage on her is pretty good.
Not everybody gets to heel behind Caleb Driggers. usually that's safe for Junior. But why is he helpful at futurities like this? What does he do with the steers that really makes it easy on you?
Well, I think just a game changer. I mean, he's riding the best horses in the world. He scores the best. He heads them the best. He knows how to put them in your loop coming around the corner. He knows cattle so good. He's always sitting there watching the cattle. I don't know how many times I rode back on a couple of runs, the one that I was helping him on, and he was like, this one's slow. Like, he knew all the steers. And so I think it's just the next level of, he just kind of masters the game. So, like, he does all the work for you and makes it real nice. And I think just those situations like that, he just sets up the run, Even though that steer got trashy, he just kept going and let him get his feet together and come under him and didn't try to force nothing. And that just makes it easy on us back here.
Tell me about Metallic Payday Place too. He won third, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Does that feel like a win for you as well?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Because I got to ride him a little bit middle of last year, and then take him to a few shows. Actually, I got one run on him in the Healing at a show, and I hurt my back there at Ardmore, and Colby finished out the show on him. So I've run one steer in an actual competition, Healing on him, but no, definitely. And I got to head for Caleb. He let me head for him here, and so yeah, no, I was real proud of him. Yeah, really nice horse.
Very
yeah,
good.
wish I got to head on him.
Right. How has your life changed as far as a trainer and business goes since these futurities have exploded? I mean, what was your life like before futurities?
Well, I kind of grew up in the shows, and I kind of got the quarter horse shows, and I kind of got away from it. And then I went to, when I kind of got away from it, sounds funny, but I quit training horses through the winter. We'd go to Vegas in December, and that was kind of my cutoff, and I'd send all my training horses home. And from December all the way to March, about 15th, when Sun Circuit was done, horse show, we would come to Arizona and hang out and jackpot and go home and just fix stuff around the place, just kind of relax, go on vacation, do something else. And there's a couple sales throughout the winter and stuff, so I rode horses. I didn't do nothing,
sure.
But I worked on, did other stuff and rode some colts and stuff, but not as intense as I do in the summer. And then now we worked all winter.
You work all winter.
This was the first winter I worked all winter. I had horses in all winter, and this is the first trip I've made out to Arizona so far. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be for about 5 days. We got here, we're going to show, and then go back home, and then come back out again for a week or two. But
yeah, so you had quite the operation, though. How many rigs did you bring out here, and how many horses?
We brought 3 rigs, 16 horses. And so, yeah, I've got a bunch of really good help. That's the main thing. I feel like I got maybe too much help, but
you have a lot of help.
I got a lot of help.
A lot of help running around.
There's
here.
people everywhere,
yeah.
but I would say it's too much help, but they're all doing something.
Yeah, nobody's standing around.
If someone was sitting around doing nothing, I would think differently, but they're all moving around doing something. So, no, it's darn sure makes my life easier.
Yeah.
And I think it just takes better care of the horses too. Mm-hmm. They can kind of. If we were running around so much, they wouldn't get watered as much. It wouldn't get, unsaddled and unbooted as much as maybe they should be. And so I think having help, and especially on marathons like here, today and tomorrow, I think a lot of help helps everybody, people and horses. I'm not quite as strung out and tired. And
you have time to talk to me. Usually
exactly.
You wouldn't have 6
right?
minutes to talk
Rock
to
Springs,
me.
I made you wait till the end of the calf roping, maybe.
Exactly, the very end of the trip. I was like, Andy, I want to leave. I'm waiting to talk to you.
Yep, exactly. So, yeah, no, helps, key in situations over here like this.
Last thing, what heel rope were you using?
The Hui OG.
You like?
Medium soft.
Really?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used it kind of middle of last year when they kind of first came out with it, and then I used it all Texas at the Jay's Futurity there in October, and I've been using it kind of since then. I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, and different weather conditions too. Barry must be getting them just right for you.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. No, it feels real good.
Very good. Well, we'll let Tate Kirchenschlager walk by, and maybe we'll talk to him here in a few.
I'm sure we will. He's usually over here. He's usually here.
Thanks, Andy.
All right.
I hope you all enjoyed Andy's interview. But next we've got Dakota Kirchenschlager and Test My Metal. We caught up with Dakota late in the evening after he won on this 5-year-old stud that is by Metallic Cat. He's a stud that Dakota's had in his program a long time. By the way, you can watch this horse. We have 2 different practice sessions with him while Dakota was really kind of going through some mental struggles with him. His name is Test My Metal. Like I said, it's on roping.com. You can watch those practice sessions, heading and heeling on this stud. And it's really impressive to me to watch Dakota's horsemanship and his patience in these sessions. They're longer videos, like I think 10 to 20 minutes on each of them. So check it out. Tell me, where did that horse come from? Or who does he belong to?
Neil and Jody Wanless own him. We bought him as a 2-year-old at the cutting futurity sale. I rode him at the snaffle bit, and I did horrible going down the fence to do pretty good on him for the level 1 stuff. Then we started roping on him. I don't know how much money he's won. Quite a bit. We had pretty good success on him last year as a 4-year-old. At the end of the year, we didn't do that great. And I just took him home and just scratched my head because I know he's a good horse. I just had bad luck, and I just needed to do better with him, and the last 4 months, 5 months, just been trying to get a thought process where I can control it. He can run, he can stop. He's a phenomenal horse. I'm blessed to have him. I want to do good on him.
What getting his thought process together? What did that look like for you?
It's He's a out of a dual ray mare and Metallic Cat. It's the number 1 cross for cow horses, but they're hard to get through to them. I mean, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of long days. And me and that horse have spent so much time with each other. It's crazy. Like I tell you all the time, the amount of hours that it takes to get a championship, it's not even feasible. Mm-hmm. But we've put a lot into that horse, a lot.
And I can't not ask about your app horse. You did not win, but I was rooting for you to win with this horse. Tell me about this horse and where did she come from?
So a really good friend of mine, Tavis Walters, he had her and trained her, and I'd always kind of liked her. And they were selling her in a horse sale at the Triangle Sale, and we liked her, and we tried to buy her before the sale, and they wouldn't sell her to us. And she went through the ring, and we bought her. And she's a phenomenal horse. I mean, we haven't even had her 2 weeks.
And she's not just a novelty. She won. What did you win on her? 4th?
I won 4th today. The first roping I won, placed in some rounds on her, maybe placed in the average. I'm not sure. I mean, just in the last 5 days, I probably won over 20 grand on her.
That's awesome.
Yes, ma'am. She's a very special horse, and Tavis is a great horse trainer. I mean, he rides horses for a lot of people, and a lot of his horses have had huge success. Yeah. He's a great friend of mine, and I'm just happy to be a part of the journey.
Did you fall off her?
Yeah.
So if you didn't win, I wasn't going to ask you that, but okay.
Earlier, I heeled the steer and got the rope on her head, like in between her ears, and she almost fell backwards and then took off, and yes, I did fall off.
Okay, sorry. They said you actually ended up stepping off.
Well, eventually, yes, but amazing. In my mind, I fell off.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. That short round steer, what were you trying to do? Not on this one, on the one that you ended up winning on. What was the game plan?
Just, when you have a great header like Caleb in front of you, you just try not to. You don't want to mess up, and you got to keep the steers in the left lead so they can handle better, and you got to be aggressive. I mean, these futurities are so tough nowadays, and everybody ropes so good, and everybody is so competitive. It is so competitive. It's ridiculous.
Well, God, hope you win more tomorrow.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to take a break to tell you about our sponsors at Professional's Choice and their new 2X Cool Sports Medicine Boot. From the creators of the original Sports Medicine Boot, Professional's Choice has released a revolution in leg protection, the 2X Cool Sports Medicine Boot. Designed around cooling, comfort, and durability, Professional's Choice has introduced a lightweight, ultra-breathable, and completely neoprene-free boot. The 2X Cool Sports Medicine boot is lined with a technology-advanced fabric from Brrr that combines cooling materials, active wicking, and rapid drying to create the triple chill effect that instantly and continuously draws away heat and moisture. Professional's Choice 2X Cool Sports Medicine boot will keep your horse's legs cool, dry, and protected. Check those 2X Cool Sports Medicine boots out at profchoice.com. That's PROFCHOICE.com. All right, Trevor Brazile won both the 4 and under heading and the 4 and under heeling. He won the 4 and under heading on a flag ranch raised horse by Bama Cat named Bama Fury, and he won the 4 and under heeling on a horse named Not White at All, and that horse is by Not Rough at All. I feel like you're back with the vengeance. Not that you were ever gone, but what a good show so far.
Well, I think everybody gets so used to these big jackpots being top loaded, and it seems like that's one thing I've thought that's been really good for all the rope horse futurity stuff. It pays good all the way through, and so it keeps a guy from having to do something that they might regret on one of these younger horses when third is a natural progression down, and not top loaded. It doesn't make you just feel like you have to go for first on these horses, and I think as long as they keep the horse in mind, those payouts stay like that. You just kind of take what they give you on any certain day. As long as your horse is doing good and you're placing, it pays good.
Yeah. Talk about the horse that you won with. It's a Bama Cat, right? Tell me about him. Where did he come from, and how long has he been in your program?
He came from the Flag Ranch as an early 3-year-old, and Miles rode him for the next 6 months, and then I've just been playing with him ever since, and he's made a great horse. He's just a real practical horse. Like, I always have a good feeling in the box, number one, because he scores good. Number two, they never run anything in there that's too fast for him. That sucker can fly. And so that's always a good peace of mind at these deals, because whatever the setup is, you don't have that in the back of your mind. And then for a big horse, he runs, he gathers, and he faces surprisingly easy for his size. He always knows where his feet are. That's pretty what I would maybe question about the horse, but you don't have to with him. He always knows where his feet are.
And for as much run as he has, does he take a bunch of warming up before? Were you out here loping him a long time or anything?
He doesn't take much warming up. I always do more here because, they might have had a couple days off and it's cool and they're 4 and this is his first outing. So, I want to give him the best chance to be successful. So he probably got a little more warming up here than usual, but he's a good-minded horse and doesn't take anything extra.
And tell me about the stud that was high back. That Miles rode.
Yeah, that's a really cool horse. He's I would describe him as a pretty cool outcross because he wears a size 2 shoe. He just seems to be a gamer. Like when you score, when you need to call on him, the pressure doesn't bother him. I was really excited to see his first outing go kind of like I thought it would. That horse is just a cold-blooded, good sucker. He's good on both ends, but he's got the size to be a great head horse. That's what I like.
And when we say outcross, what is he?
He's once in a blue boon on the top, and that DT, or not DT, well, I guess DT Shiner Leaner checks or Sugar Leaner checks.
Sugar checks ways.
Yeah, something like that.
The Billy Jack, it's out of the mare the black mare, yeah. Gotcha. Very cool. And Icon, was he your help horse the whole futurity, or the whole short round at least?
Yeah, no, that was what I helped on the whole time. He's not in the Royal Crown, and I would have shown him in the Open, but we were just, when you pack everything in, we don't only have so much room for help horses, and just didn't have enough help horses to get through it all.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me about that horse.
I have to, old habits die hard. I wanted to make that horse a calf horse of all the horses that we had there because he's just got a great mind. He can haul, tail, drag it. But being that we're making team roping horses right now, I mean, he obviously has made a great heel horse. He's just got, his talent level is really good across the board. So, where some things can get by with a little less here and a little less there, there's just extra of that horse everywhere. And he's a lot of fun to ride because, you're never out of place on him. And he's just, that extra speed always comes in handy.
What was his background? Where did he come from?
Rachel Olson, they'd started him in the reining. And we got him early in his 3-year-old year.
Why did you buy him?
I love the way he looks. He's plain sorrel, doesn't have, I think his name's not white at all, but he don't have any white on him. And so if I like them and they don't have any chrome at all, I just really like his conformation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, to me, that's the way I want one to look.
Is this a horse that you think his future could be? Where do you see his future going if you could paint it perfect?
We're just wherever you mold him. I mean, because he's got the ability to do it, whatever it is, whether it's go on as a heel horse or get switched over into the calf roping or something like that. I mean, he's got all the tools for all that and the mind to go with it.
And Miles trashed that handle on the last one. So talk about what that shot, what happened, and what you did to stay hooked.
Some of that stuff, I guess the judges have a degree of difficulty. Boxed, is handy for that in situations like that because the steer didn't handle good, and then the horse kept moving through it all really well. And I thought he was really mature. He handled that last steer, the handle of it, with a lot of maturity for a 4-year-old.
What do you do in the practice pen that allows that to happen?
Well, through my career, the attribute that I probably liked the most was the scoring, and I wanted my horses to be easy. I wanted them to be where anybody could ride them. That was the difference in the great ones. The good ones sometimes were just good with me. The great ones, what I consider great, they're good with everybody. They're just easy and they're forgiving.
Very good. Well, now it's only the intermediate left, so I'm not going to talk to you the rest of the day.
Sure.
All right, last up on the score today is Vaughn Warken. Vaughn is who Kobe, that you heard about from Trevor Brazile very first, came from. And Vaughn went on to win the intermediate on JT Risin Sensation. That horse was high back at the American Rope Horse Futurity with Caleb Driggers. He ended up placing, just had some, didn't have as good of a steer in the short round. But that horse is going to be selling at Rancho Rio. He is prime real estate right now. I know lots of the open guys have been talking about him, but you watch Vaughn win on him in the limited. Vaughn's daughter, who's 15, she ropes on him. She won good money on him, and Vaughn tells us about that. So enjoy. Thank you. If you've made it this far into the episode, thanks for listening. Get to talk to you about you winning and about JT Risin Sensation, because that horse, I thought for sure we were going to talk in October about him. Give me the rundown on where did he come from and what's his history?
I come from a breeder in Saskatchewan, which is my home province in Canada. They raise approximately 75 foals a year. We just happened to run across him as a 3-year-old. With 60 days riding on him, we put the rest of the work into him, and it's just been a good horse all around. That's
an understatement. I hear everybody wants him. What's his future going to look like?
We're fortunate enough to get him into the Rancho Rio sale, and I'm very excited yet very disappointed about it. He's totally changed our program.
That's okay.
Sorry. It's just a horse of a lifetime, and
But I feel like this week has a little bit defined your program, or a little bit not reshaped your program, put your program on the map. Talk about what's happened as far as your horse program this week.
We were lucky enough to sell a horse to Trevor Brazile in October that they have absolutely dominated this futurity. another horse to come through our program that we bought as a 3-year-old. Another horse that just got in the right hands and has gone forward, and it's very exciting to see that also.
How nervous were you with this roping? Talk me through your 4 steers. Were you nervous, and then how did it go?
I wouldn't say really nervous. I felt like I was really focused and tried to just really concentrate on doing the basics and getting out of the barrier and getting him roped and trying to give my heeler a good handle. That was questionable a couple times, but fortunate enough that everything worked out, and I'm just very fortunate to have this caliber horse underneath me.
Who was helping for you?
Dylan Graham.
Dylan Graham.
Yeah.
All Canadian team, right?
Canadian team, yes.
Yeah. All Canadian team. Talk about that short round steer. What were you thinking? What were you trying to do?
I knew we had to have a high score, or a very strong score to place deep in the roping. It turned out to be an average plus steer, but exactly what we needed. The horses showcased my horse really well. Dylan did a great job, finished fast, and they scored us for it. It was good.
What does JT Risin Sensation do so well? What makes him exceptional?
His demeanor, he's so quiet. He walks in that box, you almost have to push him the whole way in there. He wants to stay in the bridle in the corner, and he lets you score. And he catches cattle very quick because he runs so flat across the line.
Mm-hmm. And your daughter can ride him too, right? He's not just a...
We were very fortunate. My daughter rode him in Las Vegas at a roping and won $1,800 on him. It's the only time she's been on him. It was great.
Mm-hmm. So what does your program look like as far as what the head horses go through? What's the common denominator?
We spend a lot of time just getting them broke, supple, bridle up when we're riding them around. We do a lot of just trying to get them broke and bridled up.
Very good, sir. Good luck at Rancho Rio, or good. Yes. It'll work out either way, huh?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again to our sponsors at Professional's Choice and the 2X Sports Medicine Boots. Thank you again, everybody, for listening to today's episode of The Score. This is the Royal Crown wrap-up. We appreciate you all, and we will be back next week with another bonus episode of The Score on the Horse Market Report.